You really can't put a price on that collectible. Here we are with Deforest Kelly, and 1 year down the road of bringing you the Star Trek specials. This is our 10th, I believe, Star Trek special. And in honor of that, we have a brand new product for you right here that is, I'm going to take this down and show it to you because this is a real beauty. This is an exclusive to QVC. It is a Star Trek crew-style jacket, but these are debuting nationwide right here on this Star Trek special. It is the only jacket that has that beautiful bright yellow gold Star Trek across the back, and on the front it has the Starfleet emblem. Beautiful satin. In fact, it's outer shell and inner lining of 100% acetate. The knit at the collar, the cuffs, and the waist is all 100% acrylic, and it has never before been offered. And I want to show you this. If you take a look at the tag in here, this is from Paramount. There is the Paramount tag. This is the real item. This isn't a knockoff. This isn't unlicensed stuff that comes from who knows where. This is from Paramount itself. We have large and extra large. They are true to size, too. So if you're looking for one of these, remember, you must order exact size to make sure that you get the size that you would like to have. If you like a roomier jacket, get the extra large. Candy, are you wearing the large or the... Candy has the large, and Candy's about 5'4", and it looks really good on her. $100 will be the QVC price soon. Right now, it's only $91, and it's brand new, first time ever on the air. And it's such high quality that the Paramount folks recommend that you dry clean this thing only. Don't wash it yourself or do any kind of tricks to it. Dry clean only. It is that kind of high quality piece. Deforest, you were, as you said, you were pretty much a heavy in Westerns a lot. You did a lot of Westerns.
Yeah.
But you also did some science fiction in some things, too. So you had a little precursor of Star Trek.
Yes. Yes, I did. They look quite ancient today on the screen. I was never a science fiction fan, and it was a matter of making a buck. You know, I was trying to pay the rent then, and I was not really even aware that I had done those kind of science fiction things until years later, and I saw them on the screen.
Come back again.
But I did. I don't know, 3 or 4 of them. Yes.
Why do you think you did so many Westerns? Did they say you had a Western face or a heavy's face?
No, I had worked for this director in several things, and he said, someday, I'm going to put you in a heavy. I think you'd make a good heavy. So he called me for a show called You're There, and they were doing Gunfight at OK Corral, the historical one. And he cast me as Ike Clanton, the heavy in it. And in it, I had a handlebar mustache, and I was chewing tobacco and spitting, and I was having a great time with this role. And Charles Marcus Warren saw it and called me for a show called Tension at Table Rock, which I did. And Hal Wallace saw it and wanted me for the same thing in the movie. But I was doing Tension at Table Rock, and it was conflicting with the Wallace thing. So it turned out that Wallace said, well, I want him anyhow, after I finished the other one. So I went along with it as Morgan Earp. So then, years later, I joined the Star Trek troupe, and we did a show called Spectre of the Gun.
Right. Which was
the third time that I had done it. And when I appear at a convention now, I tell everybody that I'm going to do it one more time as a musical.
If you would like that Star Trek jacket, have a little piece of history right there. At $91, it is a tremendous buy, given the fact that it is a brand new debut. We're rolling it out nationwide the first time tonight in large and extra large, a 10178, the Star Trek logo jacket. Now again, sizes large and extra large. If you're looking for the size, the large chest is 48 inches with the length from collar to back 26 inches. Good for the ladies or the gentlemen, unisex, and it is brand new and a great buy for anybody who is looking for a very unique Star Trek piece.
Close mic a sec, please.
Already over 350 folks have picked up the Star Trek communication pin. I have to let you know, too, that this Star Trek communication pin, we only have a couple of thousand left, and once they're gone, I believe that's it on them. J15351 at $17.86. So it's funny, but we've gone through most of what is available in these pins still in an introductory price, which is really quite a nice buy for you folks. If you'd like to give us a call on it, please do so right now, $17.86. This is Space Station Regular 1 from the Wrath of Khan, done in solid pewter. Isn't that a nice little piece? Yeah, and you can own that. That's part of the series that we brought you. We have had the Reliant, and we do have the Reliant tonight for you. We've had the Star Trek Enterprise, of course. The Starship Enterprise is sold out time and time and time again. It's currently out of stock. But here's another piece in the series. Again, only $20, C9445. Little guy, only stands about 2.5 inches tall, but beautifully detailed. Of course, Regular 1 plays a great big part in Wrath of Khan. That is where Dr. Carol Marcus and Kirk's son, David, were working on Genesis. And, of course, Khan, being the dastardly guy that he is, killed a lot of folks on Regular 1 to really sort of start a lot of the happenings off in Wrath of Khan, Star Trek II, C9445. Hello there, you're live on the air with Deforest Kelly and Bob Bowersox. What's your name, please?
Hi, I'm Donna Peterson from McHenry, Illinois.
Hello, Donna, how are you?
I am just delighted to be able to finally thank Deforest Kelly for all the many years of entertainment and fun we've had in Star Trek and also in the old Westerns. And I was surprised you didn't mention Magnificent Seven when you were talking about the Westerns he was in.
Can you hear? Can you? Oh, can we turn that speaker up over there, Pete? She said she was delighted to have you in the old Westerns, but she said she was amazed that you didn't mention Magnificent Seven.
Oh, I see. Well, the reason I didn't mention Magnificent Seven, I wasn't in it.
I think you were in the very beginning. We sure saw someone that looked like you that got shot at the very beginning of it.
It may have been, but those were fun days, you know. They've tried to bring the Western back, it seems like, several times, and maybe Clint Eastwood has done it this time on Forgiven. But they haven't had much success, but they were fun to work in. And,
well, I tell you, we're sure glad we're bringing the Star Trek movies back. We just enjoyed them so much. What, you've had 6 of them now?
Well, yes. We've enjoyed doing them for you, and it's been a marvelous run for all of us. We've all enjoyed.
What have you picked up tonight from our bevy of...
Tonight I've got the cutouts, but in the pans have gotten 7 of the picture plaques. And lots of the other items. And I just want to thank QVC for bringing these marvelous people to where we can see them and talk to them and thank them for all the years of fun they've given all of us.
Well, thank you for remembering us in those wonderful terms. We appreciate it.
Thank you for being there. God bless you all.
All right, thank you, and we're going to play a word game with you.
Oh,
Before we let you go, let's play a word game, and Donna, you'll have a chance to maybe get up to 250 shopper dollars there, and we'll give you the clue in 20 seconds. If you take a look at your screen, we'll do that right away, okay?
Okay, great.
All right, take a look, and here is your clue. Donna, this is a famous sword. A famous sword. Good luck.
Excalibur.
Excalibur, I think that's the only famous sword I know about, unless it's the one Sulu carried around in the Enterprise.
That was infamous.
That was infamous, right. All righty, let's go over and have Rob spin the wheel for you. And you'll have between 50 and 250 shopper dollars on that wheel wherever it stops, and good luck to you. Spend it any way you'd like in about 24 hours. And Donna, you're going to go shopping with $100.
Oh, that's marvelous.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Well, you stay on the line. We'll properly credit your account with that, and thanks for being on the show with us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
$20 for regular one. It's a beautiful rendition in pewter, and it's solid pewter, too, from the whole series that we are bringing you, C9445, and available to you right now at 1-800-345-1515. Up. You can take a break.
Okay.
All righty. Still available, the classic Star Trek trivia game, C10860, and that's only $39.50. Not only a game, not only a lot of trivia, but you're getting also a set of cards over 200 cards that are some of the finest collectible cards that you're going to find, and a limited edition of only 200,000. You know, with most collectible series cards, like baseball cards and more, the series are up about 2 million and more. This is 200,000, a tenth of that. So this is a real collectible as well as a great game to play. I've had a lot of fun doing it. Know this guy?
I have no truck with him.
No, not at all.
Nothing at all. I have nothing to do with that man with the pointed ears.
Right. I think he is...
He's given me trouble for 25 years.
He is also, I think, one of the most talented men in Hollywood when it comes down to it. So we're talking, of course, about Leonard Nimoy, and he is here in his character of Spock. And this is, let me turn this so we don't have the glare on it. This is the Star Trek VI plaque, where he is, of course, the man behind the whole movie, I think. He starts everything off in Star Trek VI. $142.50 is the QVC price. Easy pay. 3 payments of $47.50 on that program, C9436. Beautiful 8x10 color glossy from Paramount that's been mounted on a 12x15 space background. On the bottom, nickel plaques, one that says Spock NCC 1701A, limited edition of only 2,500 now in this whole series, and then Star Trek VI on the side. Even though it's a Star Trek VI, let's go back right to the beginning, Deforest. I understand from my my ferreting out certain information that when you actually were called in by Gene Roddenberry, and you and I had spoken earlier this evening, that you've actually had dealings with Gene Roddenberry long before Star Trek, but that he handed you the script to read for the role of Spock first.
Oh, he called me and he said, Dee, said, I'd like to meet with you and have lunch with you and talk to you about a couple of things. So I met with him, and he told me, he said, I have 2 projects, he said, that I am going to be allowed to do. He said, one of them is a science fiction film, and he said, there's a character in there, he said, his name is Spock. And I told Leonard this story. I don't think Leonard believes me, but it's a true story. And he said, it's a very interesting character, he says, and one thing, he said that he is an alien, and he said that he will be a kind of a green color. And he said, I said, what's the other project? And he said, it's we're going to do a thing from the Gary Cooper film. What's the famous film that Cooper made?
High Noon.
High Noon. And I said, forget that first one. And I said, when you get ready to do High Noon, call me. Well, he never did High Noon.
No. Nope.
Never did do High Noon. But I told Leonard that, and he just cracked up. And he said, oh, Dee, he says, you can really dream them up. But it's true.
So Spock was actually part of it. Now, when did you read for the part of McCoy?
I never read for it. Gene wanted me for the first pilot, and the network didn't, because I was doing these bad guys and killing everybody and getting killed. And so they turned me down, and then Gene put me in another pilot called Police Story, and in the meantime he started the second pilot, which they wouldn't go for me.
Right.
And in the Police Story I portrayed a criminologist. And then the network saw the criminologist and said,
He's okay.
Well, he's okay. He can do that. So I started in the first episode.
That's right. So you skipped all the pilots, but you ended up.
Yeah, I came in the back door.
Much to our great satisfaction as Bones McCoy.
Thank you. Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
And this gentleman right here ended up with the part that Deforest Kelly was originally kind of offered, as we just heard. And as you had said once before, that though you may have been offered the part, no one could ever have done the role as well as Leonard Nimoy. And
they picked the right man.
They certainly, well, I think they picked them all for the right parts. Leonard Nimoy's signature on the plaque, and this is a limited edition, again, of one of the most collectible signatures. It's tough to get the top three, Bill Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and Deforest Kelly, and you can have them all here tonight. We have them all on our Star Trek special. Our first anniversary, and we're just getting started, so stay tuned. We have a lot more to go.
You're watching QVC, the enjoyable way to shop.
Variety is key to Wednesday's schedule on QVC. Find special prices on select items in the 3-hour QVC Fashion Fair, beginning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Tired of hiring people for costly repairs? Let the Craftsman Tool Hour at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific get you ready to do it yourself. Show your team spirit with activewear, sporting your favorite team's logos in NFL Team Sportswear at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Treat your family to healthy snacks when we introduce a brand new food dehydrator in Ideas for the Cook at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Just because bathing suit weather is fading fast doesn't mean you should forget about getting and keeping in shape. Denise Austin returns to the QVC Fitness Center at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific with her dynamic workout tapes. Suddenly you're sewing when actress and seamstress Daphne Maxwell Reid presents her brand new kit in the premiere of The Sewing Shop at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. It's all here Wednesday with QVC.
You've been asking for it, and finally, after 6 long months, item number K2651, the default 12.5-inch fry pan is now back in stock. Just one of the many useful ideas for the cook. Watch for it Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific time. Tune in as Steve Colasuno demonstrates its effective ultra-base bottom and its easy-to-clean 4-layer non-stick interior. A substantial size measuring approximately 12.5 inches is just right for all of your favorite recipes. Available in black and white, both sold out the first and only time they were presented. It makes the perfect completer piece for any Tefal cookware set, and it's an unbeatable bargain, introductory price to just $19.26. Join Steve for this and many other ideas for the cook, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific time.
Well, it is such a pleasure to have you with us, and it is such a pleasure to have you with us. Deforest Kelly is our very special guest for our first anniversary of bringing you the Star Trek specials and some very special products tonight, and we're going to show you one right here. And we were just talking about this. We have had just about everybody in this picture on our program, and we are going to be getting the other ones pretty soon. For those of you who have been Star Trek fans like I have since September 8th, 1966, I was there for the very first show and watched it religiously. This is the ultimate collectible. There is none better. C-10659 is the entire original crew hand-signed on the Star Trek V Final Frontier set. This is $498, the QVC price, or 3 payments on Easy Pay of $166. But as I'd said before, you really can't put a price on something like this. To a Star Trek collector, this is a priceless item. It's hard to get one signature, much less 7. And really, I don't think, DeForest, it's a matter of you folks not being totally willing to sign. It's just, where do you get all 7 of you together in one shot?
It's very unusual.
Yeah.
In fact, I've ordered one of those for myself.
Did you?
It's very difficult to get everybody to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful, wonderful shot.
Were you a tight family right from the very beginning?
Yeah, we all hit it off. It was a marvelous chemistry among the people. It was one of those things. I've always said that Gene Roddenberry was a genius as far as casting is concerned, or one of the luckiest men in the world, because it seemed like everybody fell into place so easily, and there were no ill feelings of any sort. Everybody got along wonderfully together, and they played off of each other beautifully, and it was a rather remarkable feat to put that.
Well, everybody thinks too, I mean, it's the same old story, overnight success stories when you have a show that hits as big as Star Trek. You know, and we talked to you, and since 1945, you have been
knocking around.
Yeah, doing a great job in Hollywood. An overnight success is not really true. And here you have 7 people who everybody said, oh, they came out of nowhere.
Where did they come from?
Yeah. But this is something to me. It's beautifully done, too. I think it's a tribute to QVC that this was put together by Paramount and the folks who we deal with for our first anniversary show. It is beautifully framed in a metal frame, glass cover. It is doubly framed with the molding on the inside, the dark blue and the white. It has the picture, an 8x10 color glossy on Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. And there's a plaque down on the bottom called Heroes of the Final Frontier. As you take a look at the plaque below the photograph, you can see what it says there, and it has all of the names. Captain Spock, Commander Suda, who is now a captain, of course.
Yes, he's been promoted.
Commander Chekhov, Captain Kirk, Chief Engineer Scott, Medical Officer McCoy, and Commander Uhuru. And you also have NCC 1701 and 1701A. This is a limited edition. Only 2,500 exist, but we only have a few hundred of them tonight. We don't get the full limited edition all at one time. So this one could sell out tonight, and I would hate to see that get away from you for the ultimate collectible. Signed in silver ink, and each one of you hand-signed this and held on to it when you passed these around. Unfortunately, it probably wasn't all in the same room. I think this had to be trucked all over Hollywood.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
When you...
we had to be very careful with it, too, not to, you know,
not to
mess it up.
Yeah. It is the ultimate collectible. It really is. You'll never have another opportunity. Once these 2,500 are gone, of course, that's it forever. Getting these 7 folks to do this again is probably not in the realm of possibility. At $498, you may say, gee, a little bit expensive, but really, to those of us who are Star Trek fans, it is priceless. You cannot get something like this any other time. You once said that when you first started out being Bones McCoy, that you didn't have a whole lot to do, but that a little bit of the chemistry between you and Leonard started happening, and fan mail exploded all over.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know who wrote that first line. Some people say it was Gene Kuhn, and others says that it was Gene Roddenberry that presented a little disagreement between the two of us.
Do you remember what it was?
No, I don't. I don't even remember it, but I know the way we played off of each other. And I recall, which having worked in motion pictures and some films for some time, they did a very unusual thing. They would shoot a close-up of my reaction to Leonard, and then Leonard's, and then mine, and back to Leonard, which are a lot of setups, which you don't normally do. As he giving one expression and me giving another expression, going back and forth. And it began to pay off, and so we began to just explore that, and it became very popular.
It's one of my favorite relationships in the show.
It is. You know, a funny thing, if you got a moment?
Sure.
One day Leonard came to me early in the series, and he said, you know, Dee, he said, we've worked together before. And I said, oh, really? Where? And he said, we did a Western together. And I said, we did. And I said, what was it? He said, it was The Virginian. And he said, you guest starred in it. And he said, you played a drunken doctor. And he said, I was the guy that you let die.
And here you are.
And he was right. I didn't remember. This guy groans, and you know, and that was about it with Leonard. I said, so we did work together.
That was his big break, groaning on the Virginia. And now you ended up being his doctor.
That's right.
A little bit. All of these signatures are in silver ink. Just an exquisite buy at $498. And pick a one of your credit cards, a Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, Carp Lunch, Diners Club card, or the QVC Charge card, only $166 over the next 3 months, and you will have the all-time Star Trek collectible. There is no better than to have that kind of a piece with all the signatures on there. We've been talking about you've been with Paramount.
Yeah, I can see these things now. They're beautiful.
Aren't they something?
Yeah.
You were with Paramount early on. When you started working with Star Trek at Paramount, were there any of the folks there that you remember from the early days? Or does Hollywood change too quickly?
There's been a great change in Hollywood. When I was there, yes, there was a guide named Fritz who was there and had been there for, a great number of years, and the studio threw a great, huge party for Fritz after he had been there for something like 50-something years. And Fritz was there when I was a young man under contract. But when I was there, it was a different Hollywood. There was, the lot was teeming with people, and there was, DeMille was still there at the time.
Boy, what an exciting time.
There were people like Marlene Dietrich and Gary Cooper and those people. And I was a young kid looking at, these huge stars. It was a wonderful thing. And they had a stock company of maybe 30 or 40 dancers, and they had a barn in the back, called it a barn, and you could hear the music and the tap dancing going on. And it was
great time.
It was a great time. It was a wonderful experience, and I'm very proud to have been a part of it.
Let's say hello to someone else who wants to say hi to you. Hello, you're live on the air with Bob and DeForest Kelly. What's your name, please?
Hi, my name is Monica Hopkins from Orlando, Florida.
Hi, Monica.
Hi, Monica.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
What was it that you found tonight for yourself?
Well, actually, I ordered 3 things. I ordered the Deforest Kelly plaque, I ordered the crew plaque, and I got the trivia game.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Is this the crew plaque you picked up?
Yes, it is.
Aren't you excited about having that?
Oh, God, I can't tell you how excited I am.
This is really a one-time offer for most folks. I mean, when the 2,500 of these are gone, they are gone forever. We have we're moving toward 300 of them ordered so far now. That cuts in half the amount that we have in the first installment. So I'm glad you were able to get it before they went.
Oh, so am I.
Anything you'd like to say to DeForest?
Just that I think he is so fantastic. I have enjoyed his work. I've seen many, many, many of his movies. Night of the Lepus. That was a good one. That was a classic itself too. And I just enjoy watching you. You're so great, fantastic.
Well, thank you, Monica. It's nice to speak to you, and I hope everyone in Florida is coming along fine after that terrible tragedy down there.
We're getting along.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Well, we'll send your items along to you. I'm really glad you got one of these.
Oh, so am I.
DeForest said he's already ordered one. I'd like to get my hand around one, too, but I'm on the air right now. I hope there's some left by the time I get off the air. But you have yours, and it'll be right down there to you, okay?
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. $4.98, the QVC price, item C10659. We are moving through them very quickly. I would love you to have one. 3 payments of $166.
Now, shall I go now? Or do you want me to?
After that. Still available. Item C8891, very popular tonight. In fact, going very quickly, too. $117, the QVC price, or 2 payments of $58.50. Well, we're going to do something right now that was one of Dr. Bones McCoy's hated things, and that was the transporter. But we're going to do it on mugs. These were so popular in the first couple of shows that we had them on that they just sold right out, and we haven't seen them for a couple of our specials, several months now. We have had their counterparts from Star Trek VI, but Here's the original Disappearing Ink mug set, see 88.54. You get 2 of them for $27.27. That's an introductory price, so this is going to probably expire soon and go up to $30. What happens when you put in anything warm is that the 3 stars of the show, Deforest Kelly, Bill Shatner, and Leonard Nimoy, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, disappear. And I just happen to have a little bit of boiling water here. Let's say it's a cup of coffee or some tea. And as you put it in for your morning cup or your second cup or what have you, as you put it in and it heats up the ceramic of the mug, you'll notice that, as McCoy used to say, you start scattering atoms all over the universe.
There we go.
And they just disappear. Now, the sound effects are not included, of course, my friends, but there they go. And they will completely disappear as that mug gets warmer. As it cools off, they start to come back a little bit, though. And you can see that right there, how interesting they just disappear from the transporter pad. I mentioned something at the beginning of the show while folks are calling in for these mugs. I mentioned something at the beginning of the show that actually a quote that you spurred on very interested me really a lot. You had said, and I'll quote it right, that the Kirk, Spock, McCoy trio was actually a single unit in a unit. Did you mean that as an acting unit, or was Kirk, Spock, and McCoy to you 3 parts of one being?
It seems so to me that that they were like a single entity in a way. I don't know, there was a great, of course, McCoy really was a catalyst for them. And he had 2 relationships. He had one relationship with Kirk that was quite strong in the early part of the series, where he confided in McCoy and these wonderful personal things that he had conversations with. And then, of course, the love-hate relationship with Spock.
Right.
And we were sometimes laughingly referred to as the Trinity. But it always struck me that we were, as they say, a unit.
Different sides of the same.
That's right.
You were the emotional, kind of caring.
That's right. And
person.
Spock was the cold, unemotional, logical. In many ways, he represented the computer to me.
Right.
And that McCoy hated. He had a respect for all of the modern wonderful works, but he hated to see his style go out.
Right. Oh, it was a great way to look at it. It changed the way I looked at the 3 of you since I read that the other day. It's just, you really do see different sides of people in the bridge crew.
Yeah,
Let's make you come back
3
here.
sides of one personality.
That's exactly the way it was. Now I'm going to take that hot water out of there, and we'll put a little cold water in there, and you'll see that I'm just going to rush the cooling thing, but as it cools off naturally, this is just going to rush the effect, but as it cools off naturally from the coffee cooling off as it normally does, you can see that Kirk, McCoy, and Spock come back again. 1-800-345-1515. We're going to do something we call a lucky number here, and hopefully it's going to make you a winner. Mary Lou will do the honors for us.
A new 4-digit lucky number is drawn every hour on the QVC cable shopping channel. Every time that number matches either the first 4 digits or the last 4 digits of your QVC membership number, and you notify QVC by phone that you have a match before the next lucky number is drawn, your QVC account will be credited with 10 QVC Shopper Dollars. And you'll also be automatically entered in all 5 of the next day's $1,000 QVC Shopping Spree drawings. If you don't already have a QVC membership number, get yours now. It's completely free, no purchases necessary, and there's absolutely no obligation. Just call toll-free 1-800-345-1515, and a QVC membership number will be assigned to you on the phone.
And your current lucky number is now 2470, 2470. Well over half of our supply of the Disappearing Ink mug sets have now been ordered. Those are very popular. They have sold out just about every time we've had them on the air. And it is looking like it's going to do that again. 1-800-345-1515. Still available. The other 2/3 of the Trinity, as DeForest just defined it, and that is Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk. Bill Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, $215 on a limited edition of only 1,000. This is the least number of plaques of any of them that we have in our Star Trek collectible series. Only 1,000 of these exist worldwide, and we have to be getting very close to the end of that. In fact, we have less than 200 of these remaining. C9533, signed by both men. Also, cute little night shirt for the gentlemen or the ladies. To boldly go where no man has gone before is the wording on the front. One size fits all, and it's gigantic. I think Refrigerator Perry could wear this. See 89.29 at $21.75. Our special guest is DeForest Kelly, Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy from the original Star Trek series, and here in his Chief Medical Officer's uniform is DeForest Kelly's plaque, signed by D. Kelly. And let me turn it so the glare's off of it. It's a great photo. I was talking a little bit earlier of it. Boy, it's hard to get there. There you go. Yeah. I think it's a great photo, that little pensive look. And DeForest told me earlier, as we took a look at this, that this was not a posed shot. You did not sit down and have a photographer take it. That was actually snapped clandestinely on the set.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not an. That's a very unusual photo to have.
Yeah, he snuck that in.
Real nice looking shot. It's on a 15 by 12 plaque, 8 by 10 color glossy with the acrylic on top. Down here it has NCC 1701A, Naval Construction Contract, if you ever wondered what NCC was. 1701A. That's a nice nickel plaque. And over here it has Star Trek, the 25th anniversary. Of course, we're in the 26th anniversary right now today. Right. The character of McCoy, you once said, was closer to you than any that you'd play, that McCoy was actually closer to who you are as a being than any character that you've played.
I would apparently be very egotistical to say that I was the man that McCoy was, but I am not. But I think what I did say was that there is a great deal of our personalities. Bill in real life is an outgoing, adventurous kind of a guy. He loves all sorts of rugged things, horses and bow and arrows and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And Leonard is kind of a cool, logical guy, and those qualities exist in each one of us, you know. That's really the way I put it. And I suppose that I am somewhat a great deal like McCoy in many ways. Not in some other ways, but in a lot of ways I'm like.
You obviously enjoyed playing the character.
I did enjoy.
I mean, you can see it even this photograph here on this plaque. They caught a great view of you. It's a great shot.
Yeah, he's afforded me a lot of joy.
Let's say hello to somebody. Hello there, you're live on the air with us. What's your name, please?
My name is William Newsom. I'm calling from Pikeville, Kentucky.
Nice to meet you, William. Say hi to DeForest Kelly, please.
Hello, Mr. Kelly.
How are you, William?
I have a question for you, but first I would like to say that I know that a lot of people have probably told you this, but I can only speak for myself. You have been a very large inspiration to me in my pursuit of my goals, especially in physics. You've sort of been a backing, you know, seeing you in the Star Trek series as a successful doctor, it just sort of gave an inspiration.
Well, there are things like that that make it all worthwhile, William, and I'm flattered that I have had some kind of an influence in your life, and it makes me feel real good to hear those kind of things. Thank you very much.
Well, you're very welcome. I was also curious, Mr. Kelly, do you have any question or any knowledge as to whether or not there will be a Star Trek 7?
Bob asked me that earlier tonight, and at one point there was some smoke coming out of Paramount about it, and I told Bob that if they are thinking about a 7, they're being very secretive about it. I think a thing that is maybe having a lot to do with it is that we so adamantly decided that number 6 would be it. But 6 was such a successful picture, I don't know. They may somewhere be thinking of a 7, but I have no concrete knowledge of it.
Yeah, we haven't been able to ferret that information out from our end of it either. So,
well, I sure sincerely hope that Paramount would consider a Star Trek 7. I think it would be great.
The only thing I'd heard was that the possibility of a Next Generation movie.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
That's the only thing I've heard. It's the only, as you say, smoke that's coming out of Paramount. What did you pick out for yourself tonight?
Yes, sir. I got the jacket.
Good jacket.
Yes, we were up in New York recently, and I saw a similar jacket, but Macy's had already sold out. So I got the jacket. I also got the cutaway poster of the New Generation.
They haven't really given us, our camera people here haven't had a chance to really get close to that. Wait till you see the detail in that poster. You are going to absolutely be astounded. It's an amazing piece of artwork.
Yes, from the distant point, it looks very intriguing.
Sure. Well, both of those are on their way to you.
All
and
right.
we thank you for taking such a nice time. There's your cutaway right there. Take a time to say hello to Deforest and myself.
Well, thank you.
Have a good day now.
You too.
Bye-bye. This is a great picture. It looks like, to me, it was Star Trek V. The uniform, I think, is Final Frontier, is it not? Do you remember? This is McCoy from the original Star Trek show. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And right between us is something from your last film, which was such a smash hit. In fact, I've heard worldwide it's done well over $100 million.
Yes, that's my understanding. Yes.
It's one of the most successful ones you've had.
Yeah, it was. We're going out in a flame of glory.
This is a beautiful piece, too, because this is a completely gold disc, laser disc, that has been etched by laser with NCC 1701A and the visages of every one of the cast of characters from the film. Boy, it's tough to hold these things in there. Bright light there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's available to you right now for only $174 for those of you who are interested in owning our series, one of our series of the Laserdisc plaques. See 8920, the item number, at $174. And you see up on top Dr. Bones McCoy, and there's Bill Shatner as James Kirk, Leonard Nimoy as Spock, James Doohan, Uhura, Nichelle Nichols, Walter Koenig, George Takei, all of them there. Over here on the side, we have is that a Klingon ship? Yeah, over here.
That's a Klingon ship.
And then you have all of the planets in the background there. $174 in a plaque that sold out the 12th of May on our one of our previous Star Trek specials. Sold out then. Limited edition of only 2,500. And it is a gold-plated Laserdisc commemorating Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Deforest, let me ask you a question I've asked all of you.
That's beautiful, incidentally.
Isn't that a beautiful piece?
It really is a pretty thing.
Yeah, the art is really outstanding. I've asked this question of all of your compatriots who have been on our show about their characters. Most actors create a character given certain parameters from the producer or the director or the writer. But in creating the character, you make up a lot of things internally that you know about them. We all think we know Leonard McCoy so well, but is there anything in the character of Leonard McCoy that you secretly know that you were never able to bring out, that you created for the character that we've never seen?
I'm sorry you asked me that, Bob.
Because there is, huh?
There was, we were going to do a thing, McCoy's background was never really explored very deeply. There was some thought about the fact that he had had a bitter divorce and had joined the service as a result of it.
And he had a daughter named Joanna.
And he had a daughter named Joanna.
Right.
And we had planned to do a show called Joanna, to bring her on board Enterprise, that she has joined the service.
Mm-hmm.
And we were concocting a story that she was to fall in love with Kirk.
And we would have seen...
And we would have seen all hell break loose with McCoy.
We would have seen McCoy looking at Kirk as a father would have looked at
You think he hated the transporter? Wait till...
That would have been such an interesting storyline.
Yeah.
It would have been just great.
Yes, it would have been.
And but unfortunately, we never saw it. What happened to that storyline? It just
never worked out. We were going to do it in the next year, and we were dropped.
Yeah. So it was a fourth season story. That would have been a great story to see.
It was.
And was there anything that McCoy was never allowed to do? I mean, he got the woman a couple of times.
Yeah, they finally decided to explain sex to him a couple of times, and that was about as far as I let him go.
Right.
But I don't know. We had a very interesting captain who was able to take care of all of those things. So.
Sure. And ended up
and after all, I'm a doctor. I want to keep everybody straightened out.
If you like this Laserdisc plaque, it is one of the nicest that we have. It's from Star Trek VI, and it has all of the characters on it, plus the Enterprise and a Klingon vessel. $174, and it sold out last May, and we were able to get part of the limited edition of only 2,500 back in again. Still available and not very many remaining. That is the Star Trek Disappearing Ink mug set, C8854. And when you put hot coffee or tea or hot cocoa or whatever, maybe a cup of soup in to the mug, our three favorite characters, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, disappear. They transport out. And when the mug cools off, they come back. $27.27 for a set of two. They're 8-ounce mugs a piece. We suggest you hand wash them, by the way, because the heat of the dishwasher may affect the disappearing ink. Also, very limited supply. The Face of the Future poster. They are just about gone. C9811 from the Smithsonian Institute. First time on the air and just released. $12.25. And it looks like the Captain has sold out again. We have sold out of the Captain Kirk plaque with the two original shots from Paramount on there. I think that's a great buy. Congratulations to all of you who were able to get one before they went. Deforest, this is one of my favorite pins. It kind of looks like a medal, doesn't it? This is the Enterprise pin, and it actually, this sold out the last time it was on the air, too. It actually looks like a pin or a medal. It has the USS Enterprise up on the top. I'll hold it real still here so they can get a shot of it. It has the USS Enterprise on a bar across the top, and then the Enterprise actually hangs from it as if it were a medal, something you would have seen pinned on maybe one of the Starfleet crew or the Enterprise crew for being on there. $17.86 will be $19.75 soon, the QVC price, and it's item J16135, and available to you right now, 1-800-345-1515. Could you name the funniest moment you ever had on the set of Star Trek, movie or episode?
No, we had, at the time, we had numerous funny moments. One of the funny ones goes back to the tribbles. Those tribbles kept popping up over the set for months afterwards. And we were doing a show called Journey to Babel, and I was doing surgery on Spock's father. And so I had planted one of the tribbles in a very strategic part of his body. And during the shooting, I don't know what happened to this outtake, I pulled this tribble out. And I announced that the trouble with Spock's father was that he was pregnant. And the tribble came out, and we kept...
You kept rolling the whole time?
Created a laugh or two. But
yeah, I have had privilege to see some of the you know,
Outtake.
all of the outtake tapes that are rolling around, and there are just some of the
That was
funniest
a
things.
very true one with Major Roddenberry, where something happened on the set, and I unfortunately grabbed her. She started to fall or something, and my hands fell in the wrong place on that one. Gene Roddenberry never let me forget that.
Right. Well, he was a good friend of yours anyway.
Yes, he was.
You, as we mentioned before, you knew him long before Star Trek was
Yes, I did.
even on paper. It must have been a real personal tragedy for you, his passing away.
It was. It's something that's still very difficult for me to believe. As I told you, Gene was a cop.
We have to update just 1 second, Deforest, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We have to let you know that that Face of the Future poster has just sold out, and we'll see if we can get some more of those. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
That's all right. I was about to say Gene was a cop, and he did a show called Police Story, and I met him on that show. I believe it was Police Story that I did first for him, or second. No, I did another. I did 333 Montgomery for him first, where I portrayed a lawyer that he had written.
Right.
And then Police Story. So I had known him several years before Star Trek started.
Yeah, and I understand that he did get to see Star Trek 6
Yes,
before
he
he
did.
passed on, and that's something I didn't know. I thought
Yeah.
he had passed away before he saw the final cut, but it was nice that he
No,
got to
he
see
made it, and he thought it was excellent.
It
I was very
certainly was.
pleased.
We have this pin right here, kind of like a medal, for those of you who are Enterprise fans, 1786. It is a great way to maybe give yourself a commission, a battlefield commission. Just give us a call right now, and J16135 will be yours. Jim's going to draw the next lucky number for you. If you'll take a look, maybe you can win.
A new 4-digit lucky number is drawn every hour on the QVC cable shopping channel. Every time that number matches either the first 4 digits or the last 4 digits of your QVC membership number, and you notify QVC by phone that you have a match before the next lucky number is drawn, your QVC account will be credited with 10 QVC Shopper Dollars. And you'll also be automatically entered in all 5 of the next day's $1,000 QVC Shopping Spree drawings. If you don't already have a QVC membership number, get yours now. It's completely free, no purchases necessary, and there's absolutely no obligation. Just call toll-free 1-800-345-1515, and a QVC membership number will be assigned to you on the phone.
Your current lucky number now, 4993. 4993, and that's 1786 there for that medal, the USS Enterprise. A great pin for hat, lapel, scarf. Great tie tack, too, actually, because of the pin. The pin is so long in the back, and it does go all the way through to the back of the pin, that it would be really quite nice to have on there. I understand the set of Star Trek was quite dangerous at times. Someone said that it was actually set up much like a, or Gene Roddenberry said he thought it was like a Holiday Inn. The hallways were.
Oh, well, they were quite narrow compared, I think, to the Next Generation. You know, I mean, the Next Generation has a bit more money to spend than we had at the time.
Sure. Well, they spend, I heard, $1.5 million an episode.
An episode, I think.
You were like 200,000.
Yeah, and that was a lot of money then. You know, the 200,000 was it was known as a high-priced show.
Was there a lot of politics that went into keeping that show? We know the fan side of it, keeping the show on the air, but was there a lot of politics with Gene?
No, I think that, I just don't think the network really ever got with that show. You know, they just didn't get it. They didn't believe in it.
Right.
And unfortunately, they let it go. I think if we had continued a couple of years, I would have.
I think it'd really done well with it. I mean, I think it was just hitting its stride in its 3rd year. And
I do too. I think that it would have been very successful if they'd have hung with it.
Well, we have a pin right now for you, and that's J16135, and it's $17.86. It actually looks very much like a medal that you would find on the chest of a warrior on the Enterprise. You can have it right now by dialing 1-800-345-1515.
Okay.
Over half of our supply of the original series autograph crew plaques have been ordered. By all means, don't let this one slide past you, because it is one of the great offers we've ever had on our Star Trek collectible series. $498, and you get every signature placed on a photograph by the original crew. Beautifully framed in a 15 by 15 metal frame, glass front, and great mats in there in blue and white. C10659. Over 2,000 of the classic Star Trek trivia games have been ordered so far. C10860 and 3950. Remember, not only a game, but a limited edition poster and an extremely limited edition of collectible cards. The cards serving to hold the trivia questions, but they are also great collectible picture cards from the series and the movies as well. Pewter, or gold and silver, or nickel, I should say, gold and nickel, and it has the 2 pins on the back. Very nice throat pin, too, for the ladies. Now, I have 2 Stars chairs here. One has Spock on the canvas back. The other has Kirk. And these are from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. These are called director's chairs, but they also happen to be the kind of chairs that you would find for the stars to sit in. In fact, we'll ask Deforest when he gets back here about the comfort of the chairs. They are canvas and, hardwood, and they have the very special hinging. Oh, we have to let you know that we just lost that laser disc again. Sold out once again. Thanks for your calls on that. The hardware is zinc plated, so it's rust proof, and of course you're going to have something like this on a movie set. You're going to want to have it rust proof. These are good for indoors or outdoors. The wood is all beautiful hardwood that has been polyurethaned, so you can have these outdoors, and because it's canvas, of course, they'll dry right out. There's only Kirk and Spock currently in stock. Only Kirk and Spock on here. Each one has a very comfortable footstand. In fact, I can sit on this. They fold up, by the way. It's very easy for you to fold them up and take them, but you can see you have a footstand down here. And as a director, he would sit here and he would look through his little thing and he would go, action. Or actually, it's quiet on the set, and then it would be action. First time on Easy Pay here, 3 payments of $32.25. Normally they're $96.75, and that's what we offered them for at last offering, and they are available to you right now. Whoa, we just lost our night shirt, where no man has, too bold to go where no man has gone before. Sold out, and thanks you for your calls on that. These are actually very comfortable. I feel like Dick Cavett. Very comfortable when you are sitting in these. There's enough canvas on this back section to really belly out very nicely. I'm sitting in the captain's chair because I am captain of the QVC starship. I've given myself that title. Dan, you can be Ensign Dan. And my producer, Alan, you can be a commander. $96.75 is the item, is the price on these. C10858. Now, each one of these is going to stand up. Let me get down behind here. Each one of these is going to stand up. Let me make sure. Yeah, 45 inches high. That's pretty tall. And actually, the seat is going to end up about 30 inches from the floor. They can't be adjusted up or down. They're very comfortable, great for sitting by a pool in, and of course they're in that bright red canvas, and it's 100% cotton canvas. Folds easily, and you have no problem with these in terms of recognizability. The Star Trek logo is very recognizable, and that is vinyl. Now the part that's really interesting is the actual names on here, Kirk or Spock. That is not vinyl. Let me turn around to Dan's camera here. That is not vinyl. That is actually embroidered right on each one of these backs. Only $96.75 once, or for the first time ever, $32.25, the QVC price on Easy Pay.